When Franklin Delano Roosevelt told us we have nothing to fear but fear itself, he was wrong. We actually have reason to fear our politicians. And the reason I say that is back in August of 2019, I made a prediction. And in my prediction in August 2019, I said that if the Leon-Guerrero Tenorio team made it into Adelup, the people of Guam would suffer the greatest pork barrel administration in history. And this is one of those situations where I hate to be proven right. But as we saw very recently with a series of executive orders and emergency purchases benefiting politically well-connected insiders, the last thing on the mind of the Leon-Guerrero Tenorio administration leaders is the welfare of the people of Guam. They are using Guam Memorial Hospital as a giant ATM machine. What they're doing is using that $150 million a year cash flow generated by services at the hospital as a reward, awarding contracts and jobs to politically well-connected insiders. And as a result, more money going to politically well-connected insiders, less money going to benefit the people of Guam. And it all happens here at Adelup. When the governor ran for office, she claimed that she was going to be the health queen governor, healthcare queen governor, that she was going to make Guam's healthcare system the envy of the Pacific. She hasn't done that. What she has done is she's using the welfare and healthcare of the people of Guam as a bargaining chip or a poker chip or a blackjack chip in order to stimulate attendance at her upcoming series of fundraisers. Now, I say that based on the press conference she had last week where she was talking about her All Rise Act vetoes, her trip to Washington, D.C., and her intention to take $300 million of the American Rescue Plan, sequester it away into a fund to be used 3 to 5 years down the road to provide funding or a down payment for a new hospital. And that is the wrong use of that money. That money should be used, that American Rescue Plan money should be used to rescue the economy and the 20,000 people of Guam who don't have jobs today. But that's out of our hands. It's in the hands of the members of the 36th Guam legislature. In order for the people of Guam to make a dramatic improvement in the quality of health care on this island, we have to turn our backs away from Adelup because they have proven over the past 3 years they're more concerned about pork barrel contracts to politically well-connected insiders than they are the health of the people of Guam. So we have to come back here to the legislature. These are the people that we elected to represent us in the People's House, and we are going to have to count on them. And we've got an election coming up, so they have plenty of time to prove their loyalty. They're either going to be loyal to the people of Guam or they're going to be loyal to Adelup. And over the next couple of months, as the governor tries to wrangle a pork barrel project worth $750 million under her control to use as a tool to aid in her re-election campaign, the actions of the senators will determine beyond all shadow of a doubt who we elected. Did we elect people to represent us, or did we elect people that are putting the needs of Adelup ahead of our needs? That will come in the next couple of months, but the important thing for us to know is the battle for public health care has been going on ever since this administration was elected. One of the first bills they passed was Bill 30, and I challenged that bill in court, as did Take Care. I love it. We'll keep this in here. And the bell tolls for taxpayers as politicians continue using public health care as poker chips on the blackjack table that we call Guam Memorial Hospital. Now, I say that because Bill 30 was a taxpayer disaster. It gutted Guam Memorial Hospital financially. to the tune of tens of millions of dollars that taxpayers had to make up the difference while providing corporate welfare to Guam Regional Medical Center. I filed a lawsuit in Superior Court of Guam, so did Take Care, and the federal court ruled that the Bill 30 was illegal. But the story doesn't stand there because it's more complicated than that. I am now in the Supreme Court of Guam.
The Supreme Court is now in session. The Honorable Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice, presiding.
Would the clerk please call the case?
This is Supreme Court case number CVA 20-008, Joaquin v. Leon-Guerrero, individually and as a taxpayer, plaintiff appellant versus Government of Guam, Department of Administration, and Edward Byrne in his capacity as director, defendants appellants. Appearing for the plaintiff appellant is attorney Braddock J. Huseman. Appearing for the defendants appellees is attorney Jordan Lawrence Paloon. The panel consists of Associate Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman, and Justice Pro Tem John A. Manglona. Attorney Huseman reserves 10 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Attorney Huseman, you may proceed.
Good morning, Your Honors. My name is Braddock J. Huseman. I represent Mr. Leon-Guerrero. May it please the court.
That's right. I am still in the Supreme Court of Guam because the Leon-Guerrero Tenorio administration is trying to prevent taxpayers from having any standing, any say whatsoever in how their tax dollars are being spent. The downside of their position is that once they get elected into office, they can do whatever they want with taxpayer funds, and we as taxpayers and citizens have no say if they get their way in the Supreme Court of Guam. I pray that doesn't happen, because we have seen over the past year and a half how this administration, with the consent of this legislature, has carved out large chunks of federal tax dollars to benefit politically well-connected insiders, not the people of Guam. And now in the crosshairs are the American Rescue Plan monies. $556 million that was set aside by the taxpayers of the United States, given as a gift to the people of Guam. Because the people of Guam don't have to repay that $556 million. The taxpayers in the United States will. So it's incumbent upon our politicians and our governor to use that $556 million for the benefit of the people of Guam, not to fund pork barrel politics as usual. And that's what we see right now. In her press conference, she announced she was going to take $300 million and set it aside for the down payment of a hospital that won't be built for 5 to 10 years. And I say 5 to 10 years because we only have to look at the political fight around Simon Sanchez. Protest and all kinds of politically well-connected insiders, grabbing at the ring that was the contract. The same thing is going to happen with Guam Memorial Hospital, and we won't see them breaking ground on a hospital for 5 to 10 years. But we have 20,000 people suffering now. We have 20,000 people that the government has put into a armed conflict, practically, a gladiator-style arena with her All Rise Act that I hope the senators override her veto of. Because the way the governor set up All Rise, she doubled the number of people eligible for funding, but didn't double the funding. And it's on a first come, first served basis. And you can bet those first coming and first served are going to be politically well-connected insiders and government employees who have access, not the 20,000 people who are unemployed. So this body, this legislature, has a huge task ahead of it between now and the primary season, proving to the people of Guam They are more loyal to the people of Guam than they are to the administration of Leon-Guerrero and Tenorio. And they didn't do a very good job this week when they failed to override the veto of Bill 1136, which required the governor to come to the legislature in order to extend a declaration of emergency. This is our house, the people's house. And the time has come for us to take back our power, and we do that by being good citizens. We do that by contacting these people and letting them know our opinion on the All Rise Act and on Guam Memorial Hospital. Because unless we speak up, the governor's going to get her way and pit the people of Guam against each other in some kind of bizarre death match over the All Rise Act funds. And that is not fair to the people of Guam. Unless we as citizens make our voices heard, she is going to take $300 million, a gift from the American taxpayer to the people of Guam. And I say a gift from the American taxpayer because we don't have to pay that $556 million back. The American taxpayers on the continental US are going to be the ones paying the bonds that created the fund. So it's a gift from the American taxpayer, and one that we need to use wisely and not abuse. And taking $300 million out of that 556 at a time we still have 20,000 people unemployed and an economy that's not going to grow or return to the 2019 levels for another 10 years. We need to use that money now, not keep it in the bank for 5 to 10 years to be used as a down payment on another pork barrel project. When we speak up and contact the senators and let them know that we want those American Rescue Plan funds to be used to benefit the people of Guam, and it's their job, not the governor's job, it's their job to see to it that happens. So we have an election coming up, and we have 16 months, I'd say, for the senators to prove that they were elected to serve the people of Guam. Because they're not off to a very good start because they failed to override governor's veto of Bill 1136, which would have had the people have a say in whether or not the emergency powers are extended or not. Their failure to act on our behalf is not a good sign. We'll see how they do on the All Rise vetoes. I'm not confident, but I am hopeful. I'm Ken Leon-Guerrero. This is my point of view, and I'd love to hear yours. You can send me an email sharing your point of view at kenleonguerrero@yahoo.com with confidence.